The next question, and it's going to be a 90-second question, so it gives you plenty of time, and it gives you an opportunity to sort of wrap up. We will start with Mr. Thompson on this one. Mr. Thompson, what have we not covered here tonight that you think voters should know about you? Again, you have 90 seconds.
Thanks, Mike. Thanks all of you for coming tonight. I'm running for governor because I want to give back to this state that's done so much for me. My dad was killed in a mining accident before I was born. My grandparents raised me. I remember catching bath water in a wash tub from rainwater. The bus driver at the bottom of the hill would wait for me and blow the horn because it knew it took me longer to get ready so that I could get to school on time. The cooks at school would put back extra milk for me to make sure I had some extra milk. The teachers took good care of me. And then when I got out of school, I went in the Army, and I spent 2 years in the Army. And I used the GI Bill and a lot of odd jobs to go back to college and go to law school. So I've worked all my life. I don't have to be briefed on the lives of West Virginians. And I know people are hurting now. I know people need to go back to work. I want to get West Virginians back to work. I work for workers' rights. I deliver for workers and workers' families because I've been there and I know the situation. It's in my heart. I appreciate you having me here today. I'll thank you so much for listening to me. God bless each and every one of you. I think right now what's happening in West Virginia is we're on cruise control going uphill and we're going backwards. Unemployment up. All these issues aren't being addressed because we're just coasting along. As governor, I'll move West Virginia forward. I'll fight for you. I'll fight for working families in this state. I would appreciate your support on May 14th or early voting if you're able to make it out to that. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Mr. Tomlin, what have we not covered here tonight that you think voters should know about you?
I think one of the things the voters should know about me is look at my record in the legislature. What I've been able to do as both the finance chair, that's when we started turning this state around, when their teachers' retirement system was completely broken in West Virginia, when we did not have a rainy day fund in West Virginia, when we were able to put ourselves on a 40-year payout plan for our teachers' retirement to make sure that our hardworking teachers and school employees are able to draw that retirement check once they retire. And I've made sure over the years that we put in every single penny to make sure that those checks are in there, every penny that the actuary says. We've been able to reform our workers' compensation program in West Virginia, where our premiums were once one of the highest in the country, but now they're continuing to go down and are getting lower and lower each year. When we had the medical malpractice crisis in the state of West Virginia, when doctors, especially from the Northern Panhandle, were sending out letters saying, we cannot see you anymore because we do not have medical malpractice insurance, because St. Paul's insurance moved out. It was Earl Ray Tomlin that really pushed the button to make sure that we had created a physicians mutual in West Virginia run by our doctors in the state of West Virginia, and we have watched the medical malpractice premiums continue to decline every single year since that agency's been in effect out there. We're now got doctors coming back into the state of West Virginia. It was Earl Ray Tomlin was one of those people that helped create the School Building Authority of West Virginia. We put way over $1 billion in new and improved school buildings, state-of-the-art buildings in the state of West Virginia. It was also one that helped create the Infrastructure Council of West Virginia, which has put billions of dollars to work toward our water and sewer projects in our state. I want to continue to do that and move West Virginia forward.
Thank you. Mr. Kessler, what have we not covered here tonight that you think voters should know about you?
Thanks, Mike. What I want to stress to the voters out there tonight is I'm the candidate that has a vision for West Virginia's future. I'm the only candidate that has come out with a plan such as the West Virginia Future Fund. I agree that we have a huge opportunity, quite frankly, with this Marcellus Shale opportunity. But this time, when we do it, let's do it right. Can you imagine, I'm proposing that we're going to take 25% of the increased amount of severance tax volume we're going to see in the state and set it aside in a fund where we can't touch it and spend it like drunken sailors for 20 years. And you will see at the end of that time significant wealth. Can you imagine how rich we'd be as a state if we'd taken a couple of pennies of every ton of coal that came out of our ground 50 years ago and set it aside? We'd be the richest state in the union. Why shouldn't we do it now? It's rare in life you get a second bite of the apple. but we will. I'll be planning for the future. I'll be working for the future. I'll be looking to the future. I'm the only person on this stage, I suspect, that's got children 21, 18, 5, and 2. I've got them in college, high school, preschool, and diapers. I've got a long future to worry about. But I want to make sure that my 5 and 2, if they leave this state, it won't be because they have to. It'll be because they want to. Because we can, by modeling that like a program similar to what they did with Alaska, with their Alaska Permanent Fund, by setting up such an endowment fund. There is no income tax in that state, and every man, woman, and child that lives there, they got $37 billion in it now since 1970. And guess what? Everybody gets a check from the government just for living there, ranging between $1,200 and 2008, $3,200. Why can't West Virginia be great? I believe we can be, and under my leadership, we will be.
Thank you. Mr. Moltis, what have we not covered here tonight that you think voters should know about you?
I'm not a farmer. I'm a city slicker. I grew up in this city. I'm a singer. I sound like Frank Sinatra. That's me. I can't tell you a farm story like Earl Ray or Rick Thompson. I mean, they tell great farmer stories. I could never do that. And Natalie is a farmer's daughter. I mean, she can tell you good stories. I'm sorry, I can't. But the only story I can tell you, I have 8 years of college. I'm a singer. I sound like Frank Sinatra. You can hear me on YouTube. Check youtube.com, Arnie Moltis, and you know, that's what the ladies told me. I'm not really sure if I do. But I can tell you one farm story. I grew up with Mom and Pa Kettle. I love that show. Maybe, and I love that show because West Virginians is a lot like that. They're sincere. They're great people. And you know, when Ma Kettle calls her husband Pa, I mean, it's kind of funny. Because if someone's married, anybody call their husband Pa? I mean, I'm not sure. But I love West Virginia. I have the education. I have an analytical mind. I went to Notre Dame College and also have gone to Marshall. And I can analyze a problem and solve it. It comes from education. And again, education is the root of everything good in West Virginia. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Perdue, what have we not covered here tonight that you think voters should know about you?
Well, first of all, I've been in government all my life. I worked for Commissioner Douglas for quite a few years and became his assistant commissioner, and then worked for Governor Gaston Capron, who I believe had great vision for this great state. And a lot of things the acting governor talked about, the school building authority, the rainy day fund, the paying off the unfunded liability of the teachers and so forth, was the vision of Gaston Capron and a team with the acting governor and others pulling together to work together. That's what leadership's all about, is pulling a team together to work together to solve the problems of West Virginia. I can do that. We say, and I've heard up here, we need to address the Marcellus Shale, we need to address the OPEC, we also need to address utility rate increases in this state. The Public Service Commission is out of control. They rubber stamp pay rate increases after pay rate increases, and our seniors can't afford it any longer. Our young people can't afford it any longer. Small business can't afford it any longer, and no one is addressing these problems. Yeah, we need a special session immediately to address all three of these issues. And I will introduce legislation and place a moratorium on the future utility rates of this state so we can better gauge the impact of our citizens. And I will introduce legislation that will freeze the profits the utility companies are making. We need to take control of the issue until the people of this state can understand exactly what happened. Consumer advocate needs to be strengthened in the utility rate increases in this state at the Public Service Commission to protect the rights of the people. I can get it done. I have the leadership. I have the experience. I can make it happen.
Thank you. Ms. Tennant, what have we not covered here tonight that you think voters should know about you?
Well, I think you probably figured it out so far about me, is that I do not accept politics as usual. I don't think that it's acceptable, and I don't think that we can continue to govern and lead like that. When we say we have the opportunity during a legislative session and not address two major problems and say, well, let's come back into special session to do it, that's politics as usual. And we can't afford that right now, and that's why I'm running for governor, because now is the time that we need accountability in government, accountability in our actions and accountability in how we spend. We need transparency. Now is the time for transparency in government, to be able to show through a sunshine portal that I have proposed of how we spend our money online in simple language that folks can understand, and then they can determine for themselves whether they have gotten a return on their investment. And now's the time to have a government that works as hard as West Virginians do, because we deserve it. We deserve to have the top education system in the country, and we can have it. We deserve to have an energy policy that can solve our challenges and the country's as well, and we can have that. And we deserve to have roads that we don't have to try to hit all the potholes as we're driving them. And we deserve to have someone who is forward-thinking like I am. When we talk about how we want to move West Virginia forward, well, here's how I've led West Virginia and led the country. I spoke in front of Congress and gave expert testimony of how we in the Secretary of State's office and I serve our military members by leading the country and allowing them to vote online. That's the kind of forward thinking that we need, and that's why I'm running for governor now, and that's why I'm asking for your vote and your support. Please go vote for me tomorrow.
Thank you.